Welcome everyone to the Blue Beetle movie review. I got dropped off at the theater and picked up at the theater, so I didn't get a chance to film in the car on the way. But man, I'm surprised. I think how good it was. So let's get into it.
Welcome to Gotham. Cenobites.
Alright, YouTube, so welcome back to another video. You've clicked on Gotham Cenobites. I'm Terry, filming this one in the daytime with the kids awake, so if you hear them screaming in the background, sorry. Father-in-law is in town, so the wife kind of let me go film a little early, that way I can work on the next video tonight, which is going to be same character, the Blue Beetle, Gotham Gavel, but today is the movie review, and just getting home, it's very fresh, and I gotta say, it was really good. I mean, don't let the shadow of how bad The Flash was to some people deter you from this movie. I mean, it was great. I saw it with my friend, and he's from Puerto Rico, and he kept saying the whole time, I thought Blue Beetle was Puerto Rican. I'm like, no, he's Mexican. Everything I've read about him or heard about him, this version, jaimereyes, he's Mexican. But I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell you who Blue Beetle is. If you're interested in the origin or who the character Blue Beetle is as far as comics, I'm going to tag a video in the description below, and it's Variant Comics. And whenever I am about to go to a movie but I have no idea who this person is, I always go look at their videos, and I watched theirs on Blue Beetle last night, and I gotta say I'm glad I did, because it helped put, a few small pieces together, like the fact that it's a scarab from a species way in a different galaxy. And they make all these scarabs as weapons, and what they're designed to do is to go to a planet, find the strongest host, attach yourself to him so he'll learn all their secrets and kill the planet. And so they dispatch all these different colored scarabs, and a Green Lantern knocks the blue one off course. And then, of course, it lands on Earth in ancient times. And in the intro to the movie, where the credits, you see them all flying through space. You see something green knock the blue one off course. I'm just glad I read that. And then more in the intro credits, you see all the all the newspaper clippings. And then there's going to be spoilers, so I'm sorry if I spoil the movie for you guys. I don't think it should ruin anything. Go out and see it. It was a great movie. Support it. But his love interest, her father, it's revealed that her father has ties to the Blue Beetle and was the Blue Beetle, and if you see, his suit is totally the first version of the Blue Beetle. So it's great. There's all kinds of old movie tie-ins. There's really only one thing I didn't like. It was in the trailer, and we'll get to that. But as far as, I knew enough to know those little tiny things, but I don't think you have to know them to go into this movie to enjoy it. I also watched another variant video on who the villain is in this one, the big red guy. And his story is completely butchered. It's changed. It's 1,000 times different. So it's kind of sucks for the hardcore readers. Nevertheless, he's in it. But the big baddie turns out to be Susan Sarandon's character. Alright, and Susan Sarandon plays Victoria Cord. And then the love interest is Jenny Cord, which so she's Susan Sarandon's character's niece, and come to find out she is obsessed with creating an army kind of like Tony Stark. This is funny because the Blue Beetle to a lot of people looks like Tony Stark, and not Tony Stark, but Iron Man, essentially. And essentially there's a big company that produces weapons. But so she's obsessed with finding the Scarab to help push the final step forward in her little thing that attaches to your spine that makes you a super soldier. So she finds it, and then I just kind of try my best to go briefly over the story. So Jaime's coming home from college. He finds out his family's losing the house, they lost the business, and his dad had a heart attack. So he's out looking for work. He's working as a cleanup crew who happens to be cleaning Victoria Court's home, and he witnesses Victoria and Jenny having an argument, and her little muscle guy was raising his hand to Jenny, and that's when he stepped in. They both get fired. I don't think I said it. Jaime's sister was also working with him at that job. So they're outside waiting for a ride when Jenny comes out. They have a conversation. She says, come to the building, I'll get you a job. So at the building, she clearly forgot all about him. She steals the Scarab and is on her way out with it when the building goes on lockdown, and she gives it to Jaime. That's how Jaime gets it, very much in the trailer, in a hamburger box. So he takes it home, and of course his family, they all open it, and then of course it chooses him. So on and so forth. So a lot of the movie is him kind of coming to terms with the fact that this thing is fused to him and there's no getting it out unless he dies. And he's also coming to terms with talking, because it's kind of like Tony Stark's AI reference, but the person he's talking to is the Scarab. And I'm trying to find... The Scarab has a name, so he talks to it the whole time, and at the end of it, he finally accepts it and is able to control it a little bit more. And the voice for it, I just saw, is the chick who played the Yellow Power Ranger in the Power Rangers reboot. So she plays the voice of, essentially, the alien technology Scarab. So, at the end, in an attack, his father ends up having another heart attack. And so his father dies, and she abducts Jaime, takes him back to her secret island facility, and is draining the code out of him. And that's when kind of their Nana plays a badass, and she, come to find out, had all kinds of evolutionary ties. And so seeing her get hurt, Nana was a badass. Especially, she looked like with that gun, like that chick from Aliens. It was pretty cool. But, so yeah, the family comes together with Jenny's help. They go back to her father. Like I said, her father was the original Blue Beetle, so he has all this Blue Beetle shit from the Scarab. Not from the Scarab, but he was also obsessed with it as well. So, family goes back to that lair, gets this big Blue Beetle flying, walking alien ship. Not alien, but I mean, it's just technology you'd expect to come from Batman. And that's pretty cool. So they break in, end up shutting the facility down, free Jaime, and that's when he fully accepts, becomes fully symbiotic with this technology, and ends up busting out. She was pulling out his code and putting it into her main baddie, who was playing Carapax, which is one of his main villains who they did butcher. Through that transfer, the Scarab was able to see all of his memories, and it was pretty horrific shit. Like Susan Sarandon's character got abducted him as a baby. But so they end up having this big fight, and then he comes to terms with it, and he ends up dragging Susan Sarandon off into the fire. And so yeah, I mean, nobody big really, except for Jaime's father. Jaime's father dies, and he dies of another heart attack. So that's pretty much the gist of it. The movie kind of ends with you can tell Jenny's going to restart the company, much like Tony did. No more weapons, help the community, and he's going to continue to be Blue Beetle. I will say there's 2 in-credit scenes, once you hit that mid-credit scene, that's... I won't even spoil that one. The mid-credit scene, stay for that. It's good. It hopefully sets up the next movie, James Gunn. But the second one, get your ass up and go. It has nothing to do with the movie. Don't sit there and waste your time like I did. Whew. So having said all of that, my friend I went with, like I said, he was Puerto Rican, and it was funny to hear him lean over to me in the movie and be like, yeah, we don't do that. There really is an overcompensated, just humongously play on the stereotypes with Mexican families, I think. I mean, his uncle, who's played by George Lopez, has a Tacoma that he calls the Taco, which is pretty funny. And just the whole thing is decked out. And I know there's Hispanic people who do this shit to their vehicles, but it seemed like it was over the top. He even had Cheech and Chong bobbleheads on the dash. And I'm like, I don't think people still do that. But I mean, it was just over the top with the comedy and the stereotypes in the beginning. But ultimately, I think it's enjoyable. It has all the ingredients of your everyday, typical superhero movie. I mean, you're going to get the same formula. Coming of age, origin, tragedy, overcoming it, realizing how to use it, beat the bad guy, and at the end, maybe we'll see him in James Gunn's new universe. Maybe we won't, but I hope we do, because I enjoyed the actor, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. I'll put it on the screen right now. But I haven't seen anything else with him in it, but he's a very good actor. Great choice. I enjoyed him. I enjoyed this character. I enjoyed this movie. And if I had to rate this movie, I know I probably just went through the story and butchered it, but if I had to rate it, I say 8.5. It's your typical, it's the same formula, rinsed and repeated, but there is enough in it as far as the Hispanic side that's different enough to make this fun and enjoyable. And I got to see it with my Hispanic friend, which was pretty cool. But he's very much into horror like I am, so he's very pessimistic like I am. So at the end, the end credit, I don't think it was the end credit scene, it was right before it, when they all finally kiss. He's like, oh, so it's a fucking love story. But yeah, he's fun to go with. But, so yeah, one more thing I wanted to point out is I don't know why they took the El Paso, Texas out of this movie, and they just made a new city called Palmyra City, and they keep referring to it as a key, like are they in the Florida Keys? Is that a city in the Keys? I live in Florida. I don't even know the Florida Keys, but to me it was completely unnecessary to do. They live on fucking El Paso Street for fucking, which is cool, but whatever. It just seemed stupid to change, in my opinion. But so yeah, that's the only. It was a good movie. I definitely recommend it. I'm gonna go back to the family, put this together for you guys, get it out hopefully tonight or tomorrow, and then tonight I'm gonna film the Blue Beetle Gotham Gavel on the Prime 1 Studio statue. There is one thing I'll tell you right now that I think the statue needs after seeing the movie, and that is a Jaime head sculpt with no mask. It has to have a portrait to really push it over the top. I don't think they're going to do it, but it would be really good to see them go back, revisit. Maybe the movie does well, and maybe they offer that as a... Who am I kidding? You know they will. If the movie does well, they're going to offer it as a 1/3 companion bust. Because they should. But, so that's all I got to say about it. 8.5. It's a really good movie. It is definitely Steelbook approved. In fact, I think it's already available to pre-order on Best Buy. Let me go do that. And then you guys take it easy. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys very soon for another Blue Beetle video. Have a good weekend, guys. And as always, see you very soon on the next one. Peace. Oh my gosh, I forgot to talk about the one thing I didn't like. It almost got away from me. If I had been in the producing stages, I would have went ahead and said, fuck it. But we're not. I'd taken everything off, and I'm like, oh, I got it pulled up right here. So in the trailer, and in the movie, George Lopez plays Rudy Reyes, and he's with Jenny and Jaime when they discover the Beetle Cave, as it were. And so he's off doing something computer-esque, and they're talking about Batman, and George Lopez screams Batman is a fascist. And I gotta admit, it pissed me off. And the video I'm gonna tag in this for variant, they even kind of poke fun at the Batman's a fascist in the beginning of their stuff. I was not a fan. And then, lo and behold, go look up what the definition of fascism is, and I'm gonna tell it to you right now. An authoritarian and nationalistic right-wing system of government and social organization. Extremely authoritarian, intolerant, or oppressive ideas or behavior, very intolerant or domineering views or practices. I mean, does that sound like Batman to you? Doesn't sound like Batman to me at all. I mean, an authoritarian right-wing system of government or social organization. It's got nothing to do with Batman. I wish these producers and writers would stop putting this bullshit in all of our movies to try to push this stupid shit to make us numb to the shit when it actually starts happening and your government becomes fascist. But anyways, I'm gonna leave you with that thought. Say bye to you one more time, and I do mean it. You guys have a good weekend, and that's the only thing I hated about the movie. But was there and gone. I mean, much like Hank Pym's mention of freaking socialism and fucking Ant-Man. I enjoyed Quantumania, but that one comment, that's how this made me feel. But still enjoyed the movie. I'm still gonna buy it. I still encourage you to go see it, and I can't wait to see it again. So yep, you guys have a good weekend. See you soon on the next one.